Hello, Randy Cryle here with a video here. I think you're going to like this. It is essentially about using productive slacking to help create an upward spiral in your life. So many of us are in a downward spiral in terms of our health and well-being. So for years I've kind of wondered what's more important, diet or exercise. I hear people debate that, and I'm not sure that the answer is either one of those. I think it really comes down to changing how we feel, how we think. What I'm experimenting with here lately is just the simple concept of transcendental meditation, simply 20 minutes minimum twice per day, time spent relaxing. So what do the Beatles, the Beach Boys, Oprah Winfrey, Jerry Seinfeld, Ellen DeGeneres, Russell Brand, Jim Carrey, Martin Scorsese, Clint Eastwood, Cameron Diaz, and Russell Simmons all have in common, aside from being extraordinarily productive, influential, and successful? These famous people all know about the giggling guru. Maharishi means the great seer, and Maharishi Mahesh Yogi was credited with teaching roughly 5 million people how to practice TM, or Transcendental Meditation. He taught it to the Beatles back in the 60s, and he taught 40,000 people how to be TM instructors before he passed away in 2008. The bearded giggling guru from India sort of franchised internationally with schools this concept of TM. He basically created the movement. Science supports the tangible benefits and results, but more on that later. Who knows? Maybe just hanging out and relaxing with your pet, going for a walk would essentially do the same thing. But there's been a lot of studies done on TM specifically. John Lennon's song, Imagine, you can almost sense the influence from the giggling guru on those lyrics. And it kind of makes me wonder how much impact this guy had in terms of creating the mood of the revolutionary 1960s. The Maharishi discuss fulfilling unbounded awareness. Kind of makes me want to have some of that. I'm working on it. I think it's very simple, but it's not easy. TM is a tool for finding the oasis within, or maybe in more spiritual terms, for finding or creating the kingdom that lies within each of us. TM is not religious, but it can support any religious practice in a very healthy way. It's a mind transformation. So what exactly is transcendental? Transcendental is of or relating to experience determined by the mind's makeup. It is beyond ordinary, common human experience. It's beyond the accidental in human experience, but not beyond human knowledge. For several years, I've been meaning to, or have thought about getting back to some sort of meditation, and I've sort of justified not doing it because I do a lot of running. I use Chi running basics as taught by Danny Dreyer, and I do it on an all plant-based diet. My longest event so far has been 100 miles. And when you're doing Chi running, trail running, and ultra running, a lot of people describe this as meditative because it is. For me, running has become far more than a way to improve physical health. Running is more of an expression of what it is to be human. This year, for 2015, one of my big goals is to try to enter and finish 3 100-mile running events. And so I've been looking at this TM as a way to improve my odds of achieving that. I sort of found out about this from watching some Jerry Seinfeld videos on YouTube. What does Jerry Seinfeld have to say about TM? Well, he's been practicing it for 40 years or better, and he credits much of his success to the practice. More recently, maybe in the last 10 years or so, I think he upped it to the twice per day. And in Jerry's mind, the most important thing, period, is energy. And while he looks at money as a form of energy, he's really mostly talking about mental and physical energy. So Jerry says, comedy is like a synchronized martial art, a concentration of energy. Energy sells jokes. Jerry loves energy more than anything. TM helps keep him energized and productive all day and reduces the risk he'll do stupid things due to fatigue, like eating cookies before bedtime. It's about confidence without stress. Energy is the greatest of riches in human life. Think about that. Stand-up comedy is very physical work. The single and essential ingredient of any joke is surprise. This takes energy to surprise people, so he gets it from TM. Jerry says, in all things, in all endeavors, be relaxed and have energy. If you've ever watched his comedy routines and think about that, that's exactly what he does. Great advice. Jerry is very compelled to share the wisdom of practicing TM to anyone who will listen. I've not been formally taught transcendental meditation. I've simply learned what I could by searching around on the internet, asking people about it, and by reading Russell Simmons' book, Success Through Stillness. Russell Simmons is a wealthy celebrity, music producer, and entrepreneur. This book on meditation made simple is a very good one. Russell Brand teaches us that we can change our bodies and our brains. Yogis have known this for thousands of years. Modern science is catching up. Meditation decreases beta brain waves, meaning the problem-solving part of our brain gets a stress-relieving break. TM lowers blood pressure, which increases our odds of exercising and eating right. TM also lowers risk for heart attack and stroke, which are the leading causes of death in affluent societies. TM increases gray matter in our brains at any age. Think about that. The amygdala releases stress hormones, as well as cortisol and adrenaline, and TM shrinks the amygdala while increasing the part of our brain that promotes memory and emotion. We've got a lot more to talk about from this book. The cerebrum is the largest part of our brain. This is the well-known left and right brains. TM strengthens the connections between the right and left brain activity, resulting in better interplay between the left and right brain functions. You'll be glad to know that our brains are more like clay than plastic. We can help shape and condition our own brains. You are not stuck with the brain that you currently have. In fact, every 7 years, virtually every cell in the human body has been replaced. So it means essentially you're reproducing your brain physically. TM gives us a 30% better chance of avoiding a fatal heart attack or stroke. And after 5 months of practicing TM, our telomeres lengthen by 10%, which is good for fighting disease. This fights the aging process. Transcendental meditation has great value in quieting our central nervous system. And additionally, while not proven conclusively, TM is positively correlated to reducing allergies, asthma, pain, substance abuse, and binge eating. TM tends to make us mindful about our food and our weight. It helps us avoid emotional hunger so we can mindfully enjoy eating each bite of food more slowly. While stress adds to our feeling of starvation, TM reduces stress. So less stress can mean less hunger. The American Journal of Health Promotion notes that the practice of TM for 5 years resulted in a 28% cumulative decrease in physician fees during those 5 years. TM significantly increases focus, productivity, memory, and alertness, giving us authority rather than anxiety. So the result of TM is equanimity, an evenness of the mind, especially under stress. TM is an effective alternative for dealing with anxiety, more effective than ignoring issues or obsessing. The goal is constant contentment, feeling balanced and peaceful. Who wouldn't want that? Okay, Russell Simmons, and I suppose Russell Brand as well, teaches us that stillness is the soil in which imagination is nourished. TM is about taking control of your life and doing what it is that you imagine doing. TM effectively can treat root causes of addictions and emotional problems. It promotes self-control. TM helps us replace judgment with compassion. This cultivation of friendliness creates inner strength, a power of compassion, whereas happiness tends to be elusive to selfish, egotistical people. Think about that. Simmons says, "To me, compassion is the ultimate expression of your higher self. When you realize that you are completely connected to everything and everyone on the planet, including the animals, this is when you truly live up to your full potential." We don't learn until about chapter 8 that Russell Simmons is mostly vegan, almost completely on a plant-based diet, and that's become something very important to him. If you've read the book Outliers, you understand the value of 10,000 hours of focused effort. This is what creates outliers, who are people of extraordinary skill, world class. Russell points out that the adepts are Buddhist monks who have meditated for at least 10,000 hours, which researchers have found that this increased their gamma brainwaves, which are considered a measure of compassion. Additionally, TM helps us have more empathy, the ability to tune in to others, and it helps us have more gratitude. TM can promote a 50% resolution of post-traumatic stress disorder in war veterans. TM brings back a childlike sense of connectedness. Russell's section in the book on how to meditate is actually rather short. So how do we do TM? Typically, an instructor gives a TM student a mantra. The student keeps it secret. The TM mantra is typically a non-word, so there's no emotional meaning to it. Think of a mantra as a handrail on a staircase that's leading us down to pure consciousness. Think of your mantra as a tool for breaking free from the hypnotic nature of the material world. A popular mantra internationally is RUM. I've selected something similar, a non-word. The R, the sound, and the M sound gives us a comforting vibration, even in silence. Think of an ocean. It's choppy and rough at the surface, but as you go deeper, it's dark and calm. Darkness can be restorative and healing. Think of a good night's sleep. Eyes closed in a dark room, using your mantra as a handrail down to the dark, calm, serene water below. Relax your mind and minimize the waves on the surface, which are really the thoughts that come and go. Your mantra can be used like an elbow, knocking away unwanted waves or superficial thoughts. Now, the more you practice this, the more it becomes part of you always. If something or somebody upsets you, the mantra might reflexively come to your mind consciously and help you relax. When doing the 20-minute meditations twice per day, start with the mantra, relaxed, Deal with distractions, take inventory of your consciousness, and attempt to go deeper into the ocean while letting the surface become like a smooth lake. Think of a mountain lake, and it's calm, well, like a mirror reflecting the sky. This is the goal, pure consciousness. So you'll want to ease back to your day slowly after TM and be grateful for the reboot of the mind as well as the benefits overall to your health. Carry the feeling of relaxation into your day and open your eyes very slowly. After about 20 minutes or more of meditation, you may find that a headache is gone, your breathing may be easier, congestion possibly relieved, colors seem more vivid, and sounds much louder. Some people actually shed tears of joy. You may notice nature more, small birds chirping, a gentle breeze. Over time, you may enter a state of walking meditation. Pure consciousness can become ingrained in all activities of your mind over time, according to Russell Simmons and Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. The voice of your higher self can overpower the noise outside of yourself. Lasting happiness requires consistent, sustained effort. Patience is key. Fruit ripens slowly. It's simple, but it's not easy. Perhaps being fully present is our real goal in life. So this one is very much worth the time. In all of the videos and all the reading and so forth that I've done on TM, the practitioners always sit to meditate. Now, I generally do not. I believe people spend way too much of their lives sitting, and it's not good for posture or breathing. So whenever possible, I lay flat on my back with my feet elevated up. And this relaxes the muscles of the spine and neck and back. It's good for the spine in general, and I suspect that this position allows for more blood flow, oxygen, nutrients to the spine and the brain. Taking this idea of getting nutrients and oxygen to the brain a step further, I've noted that I'm in a 5th year on a 100% plant-based diet, so very little, if any, saturated fat is going into my body. And I'm running these ultra distances up to 100 miles, which also helps increase the growth of the mitochondria while expanding the capillaries, all the blood vessels in the body to be more flexible. So that increased blood flow, that extra oxygen, the glucose, all that is energy and fuel for the brain. Think about what that could do to help you possibly prevent Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, or vascular dementia. So I think of TM as a form of productive slacking. It's sort of similar to the running concept of growth via productive discomfort. So there's a fine line between growth and injuring oneself. So productive slacking, productive discomfort, they seem paradoxical at first. One of the great things about meditation is that it can be as spiritual or as logical and science-based as you want it to be. It's a way to tap into the infinite energy of the universe, to embrace the fact that everything is energy and everything is connected. Mind training matters. Well, before I could put all these ideas together and make a video out of it on meditation, I happened to stumble upon this book by Pico Iyer, and I want to read a little bit from this book. This particular part is about his meeting with Leonard Cohen. Leonard Cohen said, regarding sitting still, going nowhere, and meditating, that it was the real deep entertainment. The real profound and voluptuous and delicious entertainment, the real feast that is available within this activity. This seems to be the most luxurious and sumptuous response, more from the art of stillness. Going nowhere, as Leonard Cohen would later emphasize for me, is not about turning your back on the world. It's about stepping away now and then so that you can see the world more clearly and love it more deeply. An interesting comment from the author. I wasn't good at settling down, and I'm not part of any spiritual order, but I did feel that spending time in silence gave everything else in my days fresh value and excitement. It felt as if I was slipping out of my life and ascending a small hill from which I could make out a wider landscape. It was also pure joy. And the more facts come streaming in on us, the less time we have to process any one of them. The one thing technology does not provide us with is a sense of how to make the best use of technology. Put another way, the ability to gather information, which used to be so crucial, is now far less important than the ability to sift through it. As if this video needs to be any longer, one last bit from this book. In an age of speed, I began to think, nothing could be more invigorating than going slow. In an age of distraction, nothing can feel more luxurious than paying attention. In an age of constant movement, nothing is more urgent than sitting still. I'd like to thank my little furry co-star here. This is Snickers. Wave goodbye to the YouTubers. So long, farewell.